Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back. Episode 17 now of the Scottish Falcons, and what a week it's been. You're getting us running from the fumes, the dregs of the fuel tank, so to speak, because it was a late one last night and there's been a lot of prep to do. But we're glad to be back with you. Heading up, as always, the Atlanta Falcons Nation international expansion with my good brother Des, the Scottish Falcon. And Des, a lot to talk about, and I know we're not in the best of moods, so we'll keep it quick before we go into the intros. But how are you feeling?
Mate, can you ever remember the film Bruce Almighty, where he becomes God and you see Steve Carell at the news desk, and he's literally going, blah, 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 blah. If that happens tonight, viewers, all I've got to say is I do apologise, because we are literally, and what I would say is this is a dedication of international NFL fans. I have been up, so I've literally had to go to work and be at work. So I left the house at probably 7:45 this morning. I think I got to sleep this morning at 4:30. So I'm running on about 3 hours sleep. I would say if any have got any shares in the energy drink companies, then I'm pretty sure your shares have been through the roof. I think I've cleared Scotland out of energy drinks after today. So, when you're questioning everything about how dedicated we are as Atlanta Falcons fans, that shows you exactly what we go through. Well, you've been prepping the show and everything as well, and
not to mention the triple header for last night. So I didn't just watch the game with you; I did pre and post game with Coach as well. So. Yeah, your boy's been grinding, but I'm paying for it now. But shout out to the chat, because I mean a couple of early comments already. Auntie Pam, shout out to the Ladybirds. Always repping, always showing love back. And also we've got Tony Hall dropping the red and blacks. We love to see that, Antonio. Thanks for being in the building with us.
Absolutely.
So yeah, as we say, it's been a crazy weekend trying to schedule all of this, but to start off, there's a lot to kind of go into. But
thank God the preseason is over. That's all I'm saying. Thank God.
100%. It's been a long slog to get here. And in a way, I was saying to my friend who, you know Darren from the chat, he's a Cowboys fan. And he said it was good to see some of the guys who were like second and third stringers. I mean, I know it was like a makeshift offense we had, and I was like, you want to talk about makeshift though? So it was all in good fun and all the rest of it, but there's a lot about the team performance last night that I ain't happy about, and we'll get into that in a little bit, because there's a few standout examples of how to do it, and a few standouts and how not to do it as well, you know.
What I love the fact is that effectively Raheem Morris stood in that in the changing room last night and said, let's all put on a terrible display. Let the Dallas Cowboys win it with ease, so that we can all give Will's mommy some hope that this is going to be the year. Dak Prescott's already come out saying that this is the year of winning the Super Bowl. But what I would say is you have to give their I mean, again, I don't know much about the Dallas Cowboys roster, but if that was their second and third string offense, I mean, it done well. It was powering by. So
yeah, particularly in terms of the offensive line. I mean, I said that a few times during the watch party. Like, their offensive line, they're always huge and they're always well organized. So I knew, and they're all called Tyler, So either a solid bunch of boys to kind of to go up against, but I feel like it was a good measuring stick, because I feel like we've come off with more lessons now than we would have had by playing a team who's a bit more substandard. Shout out to Floyd down in the chat as well. Always good to see you, my brother. And now to kind of launch into things, we've got a few intros saved up, but we're going to keep those for a little later on. Because we did promise you that we would let you meet the family tonight, but we're going to keep on rolling as we do. So we're going to fly straight into the breaking news. So the latest news from Coach Raheem in presser mode, suited and booted. We love to see it. is in regards to right tackle Caleb McGarry. Now, with that knee injury, all that Coach Heem has said is that it's going to be extensive time that he's missing. But that I've also seen that it was released just recently, maybe about half an hour ago, that he's now saying that it's requiring surgery. It dates back to a niggling issue that he's had from high school. If he gets that surgery, you can kiss Caleb McGarry's season goodbye.
Yeah.
So that escalates the concerning news into the territory of being worrying now, doesn't it, Des? How do you feel hearing that?
Well, I just think he shouldn't have shaved his hair. That was it. He brought all the bad voodoo and the juju or whatever you call it. Brought all that on him. So keep the goatee beard and keep the hair, Caleb. But on a serious note, mate, it's I mean, losing as we're looking at from the last game last season. We've lost Drew Dolman. Now Ryan Nuzzo has stepped up and he's been proficient when he's been asked. So yeah, fair play to that. But Caleb McGarry is a big loss. I seen a comment today as well from Raheem Morris about Elijah Wilkinson and how they're confident and they're supporting Elijah Wilkinson. And I mean, we're at a point where, again, as we've said before, at some point in pre-season, they had to at least try out each position with a backup with the actual full-strength O-line to see exactly what would happen if anybody goes down. We really don't know what we're going to get from, if it's going to be Elijah Wilkinson. We really don't know what we're going to get from him. If I'm Terry Fontenot, I'm literally kicking down 31 doors to find out. And as you said quite a few times last night in the watch party, some of the Dallas Cowboy guys, you said that some of them will be cut. Well, if some of them are cut, then let's grab some of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely bodies we can look at, and I've singled out one in particular that I'll shout out a little bit later in the show. Their right tackle, funnily enough, Lyle Collins, who played a lot against us last night, 71. I think he would be a great pickup for us, and it's another one to throw into the mix when you're talking about Jedrick Wills or Wanya Morris. It's like, here's another one, because you need to also think, as you say, as Coach said yesterday on the pre-game, 31 tackles are going to probably cut. 31 teams are going to cut probably 2 tackles each. So that is 62 tackles flooding the market.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of guys that we can potentially look at to bring in for backup as well. So yeah, good to see the boss lady in the house. We've got something special saved up just for you. We knew you weren't. There was a chance that you weren't joining us in the show. So for anyone that doesn't know, the AFN main team over in the stateside are continuing to do good business. So if you recognise these gentlemen, Ovi Mihaly and of course Mike the Burner Turner, couple of Falcons certified legends. Well, our mags in the gang, we're down there with them watching the game. So we do know that Mike Turner's going to return that favour. So you're going to have the burner on the Ladybirds on Tuesday night. So you really want to tune in for that one. And as we always say, we bring the I to the AFNI, but we're nothing without the A, and that starts with you, Miss Maggie. So thank you for everything that you do to keep us going. But yeah, just as we say, the Caleb McGarry thing's worrying me, and as you say, speaking as somebody who did trim my hair recently, I think it might have something to do with that whole Samson complex, you know.
I mean, so obviously we like to sometimes talk about stuff that happens in the UK. You remember years and years ago how there was a soccer player called Henrik Larsson, and he cut his dreadlocks. Now he was a phenomenal goal scorer, and he cut his dreadlocks and went through like 4 or 5 games where he didn't score at all. Yeah, and I remember fans of all the teams were saying it was because of the dreadlocks. He's cut his dreadlocks, and that's not, now the bad juju's came. And it's the same with Caleb McGarry. He should have just kept the hair.
Yeah. Well, with any luck, I mean, look at the way Larsson's career ended. He ended up at Barcelona, even with the shaved head. So hopefully Caleb can bounce back in a big way too, you know. So, but
Absolutely.
and then you're talking about breaking news. Des, there's one that you brought to me tonight that I wasn't aware of. Now, we noticed Mike Rutenberg on the sideline, and you went,
yeah,
that's a new one to me. But apparently, it's come out down the pipeline today that defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbricht's dealing with a personal matter at the moment. Have you got any more details as to the specifics of that, or?
I just seen the tweet from Tori McElhaney. She just said, and I didn't catch it because obviously we were in the watch party. We were talking a lot, so just said that the broadcast states that Falcons DC Jeff Ulbricht is dealing with a personal matter and had to travel back to Atlanta earlier today. Defensive pass game coordinator Mike Rutenberg calling plays in the first half, and then assistant head coach defense Jerry Gray taking over play calling in the second. And to be honest, when we watched that and I seen Mike Rutenberg, I remember saying to you, that's a new one on me. So yeah, I mean, the defense actually played okay last night. We'll get into it, but effectively, you want these kind of things to happen now. I don't think there's any truth to the rumor that he was going home to get that son of his and put him over his knee and give him a good scalp because he cost him like $200,000.
Oh dear, maybe there was something to that. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, just to keep the good vibes going. Twin Peaks and Buckhead. The ladies are saying they had a great time, and as I said in the post, lucky, because as the international fans, we would love the chance to rub shoulders with the legends. So, as I say, you guys that have the chance to do that, it's a great opportunity. So next time the ladies offer, you don't want to turn down that opportunity. That's all I'm going to say.
This ain't tiredness. It's that's oozing out to me. It's jealousy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, Michael the Burner Turner. I mean, I watched him when I get involved with the Atlanta Falcons and watched it from afar. And he got the ball. It was just phenomenal. What a player! You know what I mean?
100%. And that's why I love Tyler Algier so much, because he reminds me of that sort of archetype that Mike had, that skill set, and he's also quite similar in sort of physique as well. So I mean, there's a lot of good things to take from that. But yeah, as I say, when you're talking about Ovi as well, and another legend coming on the show, it seems like you've got all the legends lined up between, as I say, Miss Karina, the Bird Lady. The hits keep on coming from the Lady Birds. So if you're going to show love, don't just show love to this panel. Spread it all around, and remember to keep it AFN. We always try to stay dirty, so we want you to stay with us.
Absolutely.
So yeah, as I say, when we're talking about like big news, it's completely expected. We all knew this was coming, but thanks for popping by, Ben DiNucci. Your entire Falcons career was one pass, one interception.
Yeah.
So say about that what you will, but yeah, I knew that he knew even. As you say, Des, he was in the airport saying that nothing quite compares to that 7th cut from the NFL beer. Y'all don't know what this is like, and it's like, well, I think from that body language and from that wording, he knew the writing was on the wall. So yeah, surely no surprise there, eh?
I mean, it was quite strange because I mentioned a few times in watching the game that if you're not going to play, if you're going to sign Ben DiNucci and you're not going to play him, then you would have been better just having Kirk Cousins dressed on the sideline.
Yeah.
But I think Ben DiNucci was really there just as a backup, just in case anything happened to Easton Stick.
Yeah.
He did come on for a brief spell. And again, I mean, I don't think it was all on him. I just think it was a wee bit off target. I mean, this guy, I mean, to be honest, these players don't really have it easy. They don't know the playbook. They really don't know any of the players. I mean, it's really, really tough for these guys. They've played well enough in college football to actually get to the NFL, whether they're journeymen or backups or whatever.
Mhm.
From the percentage wise, they're the top 1%. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, after, I mean, you seen him for a brief spell, and he threw an off target throw. I can't remember who it was to, and it was picked. So
No, and
again,
as much as it's not, as much as that is on the receiver too, because as I said to you in the watch party, both hands to the ball. Don't be slapping at stuff. And that's maybe I had a hand in it too. But my first apology would be to the guys who sat and made logos like this one, because you've sort of wasted your time. The man is gone, and as I say, thanks for coming by for what little contribution you made. We were glad to see you come in and at least try to make a stand and make the roster. Um, so thank you for your time, Ben. And as I say, we hope you can get an offer somewhere else and
yeah,
maybe make the most of it this time. But it wasn't to be. So
yeah,
sorry about that.
yeah, and again, just really, as we'll get into it, really, really strange preseason. Just really, really strange. I look
Yeah,
back on last preseason. We lost all 3 games last preseason as well. And you see Dallas Cowboys kicker kicking 64 yards.
mm,
Um, and then again, there's just a lot of things to talk about. You look back on the Titans game and you hear Raheem Morris saying that he didn't have Craig kick because he wanted to win the game.
yeah,
This coaching staff in pre-season, they're no interested in winning a game. This is literally about developmental players and trying to develop players.
yeah. And I
And
mean, when you say that, I mean, let's get into it because this is a great way to start. So, what the hell happened? We lost 31-13 in Arlington to the Cowboys last night. We were stopped on the goal line as time was not even expired, but rather abandoned. We were stopped on the goal line. Dallas got the ball back, and they went, "Nah, that's it." And the handshakes were started. So the fact that we couldn't have at least made it 31-20 pisses me off a little bit. But as I say, we've had issues with running the ball. We've had issues with defending the run. We've had some issues pretty much all around. There's always somewhere, and in pretty much every position group, there's a fault that we could find.
well,
Sadly,
when Felipe Frank's touchdown is a highlight of your game, you know that it's not went well. And fair play to the big man. He put his heart and soul into that,
yeah,
getting that touchdown.
and he's fucking back end as well. You see the takeoff on that flip.
Absolutely. As I said, his father, Arthur Smith, will be a proud man watching from home, watching his son, Felipe Franks, getting a touchdown, because I remember all through pre-season and all through getting onto the roster and everything, Felipe Franks was always there with Arthur Smith, and all the Falcons fans used to say he's either got something on Arthur Smith, or he's effectively a hidden son somewhere.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, he's obviously improved. He's went to Carolina and he done well in Carolina. But yeah, fair play to the boy. But when you're talking about a preseason game and that's a highlight, you know it's not went well.
Oh, 100%. And as you say, I mean, Maggie can drop all the special guests she likes, but in the last 2 episodes, we've had Sigmund Freud, and now we're asking for Maury Povich. So, are you or are you not the father?
Yeah, absolutely. what I would say as well is, talking about the watch party last night. I mean, if we had to actually broadcast that, I mean, we'd be banned for YouTube for life.
Yeah.
Because the profanity from a few of the Scots was I mean, it was tough to watch. It was really, really a tough watch.
Yeah.
We're already effectively out our head because we're so tired. The game's starting at 1 o'clock in the morning our time. So that's there enough. So I'm grumpy enough.
Yeah.
And then we had to watch that, and it listen, there's no other word. It was appalling last night. It was the fact that we can grasp onto the fact that one of the coordinators wasn't actually calling plays is one thing, but I'm just, the best way to describe pre-season is a bit like describing Raheem Morris's press conferences.
Yeah.
There's a lot done, but you just don't know what. I mean, Raheem talks a lot and says nothing.
Yeah.
This season, we've played a lot and really we've learned nothing. What I would say is what we have learned is that the backup O-line is woeful. It's not fit for purpose.
No, 100%. And I mean, somebody who was talking big things about the O-line last night is down in the chat again. Mad Mike, it was a pleasure spending some time hanging out with you and the fam last night. Mike he, was agreeing with us. He's not at all sold on this O-line unit either. The depth's just not there as you'd want it to be. But yeah, it's not been good enough. Not nearly good enough. And I'm just looking at this comment here from Auntie Pam. It was the third and fourth string trying to make the roster. Yeah, that's all it was. As Coach Heem said, it was an assessment week, nothing more. But if you watched the same game as we did, there were points where we were asking, what the fuck are you assessing? Like there were points where I felt like the energy went out of it. And to Mike's credit, he suggested that it was maybe that they were looking for some finer details. They're like, slow it down if you have to, but I want to see you cut a little bit more like this. I want to see you hit a little bit more like this, for instance, and things of this nature. So I can see that a little bit, but at the same time, nah. When you're playing a conference rival like Dallas, and it's game speed. For all intents and purposes, yeah, it's preseason, but you should be going live speed for that one.
But again, we need to, at some point, we need to question the fact that, yeah, we might have a really, really good offense and a really competent offense, but the backups, as soon as we have, I've already said, we're 2 injuries away from having an average O-line, and 1 injury's already happened.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's the same with the offense. You're at a point where you're looking, you think to yourself, if we have major injuries, then what I would say is that there's a few positions that you can be positive about. I would say the running back position and the wide receiver position. Really, really confident in the backups there. And some of the guys last night were phenomenal. But I'll let you introduce Cam.
Yeah, I certainly will. So, for those of you who are not new to the show, you'll know Cam well. He's been on with us a bunch of times, but this gives me my chance to do this. Now that there's a few of us in the building, just going to drop these new logos for you. So, we've got Cam's, as he's just arrived, so there you go. Touched up with all the Native American arrowheads. And yeah, looking good, my brother. And then, as I say, for Des, we've got the Mercedes wheel shield, and just repping what he knows and loves. He knows his cars. He knows his way around a sword if you fuck about with him, and he knows his way about his football. And then, as I say, if I can't beat them, I'm going to join them. So I've even tweaked the colours of my logo because I can't be the only one off brand. So black and red, everything, you know how it is. But Cam, thank you so much for being on again. And we've got another one of the family, Fandemic, Atlanta Falcons Fandemic. So Manuel's in the chat. If you check your messenger, Manuel, we've left the link if you want to come on and join us tonight, because we've got an introduction ready for all the team as well. So if you want to jump on, feel free, my brother. Links in the Facebook. But yeah, as Maggie says as well, just keep sharing this out, keep loving, keep coming down and giving us chat, giving us comments and questions. We love to hear it. So just going back to
Mad Mike?
Yeah. How just sorry. Yeah, I got a little bit sidetracked there, but yeah, when you're talking about like assessment week, when it comes to pre-season, yeah, as I said, there was a lot of times where we said, what are you actually assessing here? But I'm going to pinpoint a few guys for you, and then I'll go around and see how you guys feel. But there are a couple of people that I am not going to be interested in seeing the field again, and that being Jack Nelson. And you may well hold your head in your hands. Javon Gwynn, not the one. JD Bertrand, not the one. Lamar Jackson, not the one.
Well, isn't the one?
Well, not that one. Yeah, and of course, Easton Pick, not the one. He's okay as a QB3, but no higher for my money. So yeah, guys, I know it's painful, but tell them where show on the DAL where they hurt you. Tell us about some of the guys you feel like are the biggest names that are going to be that are in danger here. We'll start with you, Cam, just as you're new on.
I'll say DAL, honestly. Even I think he will keep the job, but he's about pretty close on the damn block, the chopping block. When it comes to assessing the players. Who else did I have? I didn't really just have a whole list, but yeah, I'm not really sure. There's you mentioned the lineman that we couldn't stand to watch last night.
Watching Jack Nelson last night, like a turnstile was painful. It's bad when your quarterback gets sacked and you as a tackle end up on top of your quarterback.
Yeah,
I was just like, what is going on?
Cam, we said earlier on that if your highlight is a Felipe Franks touchdown, then you know it's been a really bad night. So, and to be honest, Jack, I mean, listen, he's a developmental player. I mean, he's a 6th round player, but if he makes the squad, something bad has happened in this team. If he makes the squad, you're not telling me that you can't put him at the practice squad because somebody's going to snap him up. Nobody's snapping Jack Nelson up.
No, that's right.
Yeah,
nobody's looking at him and saying that guy's the finish article. I can put him in as a starting O-line player. You know what I mean?
No chance.
I would say that one of my names is Clark Phillips the third. I don't think he's going to make it.
Okay.
And I'll give a shout out to what Cam says. D. Alford was playing effectively in the 3rd and 4th quarter last night.
Yeah.
So that tells you. What I would say is go back to what Raheem Morris said at the presser. It was a make the roster game.
Yeah.
Now, I said before in the last show, it'll be more important about the players you actually see out there, because this will be the players that they're still not sure on. You're not seeing any of the players that you know are already going to hit that roster, that 53-man roster. You know what I mean? So the fact that D. Alford was playing in the 3rd and 4th quarter in that game, that tells you that there's a good chance he's not making it either, Cam. So again,
the only reason why I said he might make it is because the only reason why he's been on this team is because of special teams.
Yeah.
And Marquise keeps on getting him slipped back in every year. Clark Phillips, he does kind of have the opportunity, the advantage of being like younger. They could just look at him as like, hey, he needs more experience. D. Alford, it's been the same thing every year with him.
Yeah, and he's been in the rodeo plenty of times. This isn't his first go around. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, as we promised you down in the chat, the family is growing and growing exponentially. So we've got another frequent flyer, another member of the AFN family coming onto the chat. Manuel, you may know him as host of the Atlanta Falcons Pandemic podcast. We had him on for the watch party last night, but he wants to combine his powers with ours this season. So we're thrilled to have you, Manuel. And what have you got to say about last night? How are you feeling? Can you hear me okay? We'll go on and go back to him. But yeah,
I think what's happened is there was so much profanity last night. I mean, I got to say that your ears burn when you hear a Scotsman swear. I can't believe it. Me and Will were swearing for Scotland last night watching this game. So maybe he just took a few hits too much in the ears.
Oh, maybe so actually, because I mean we didn't leave many of the guys with a name. So what I'll do instead is I'll drop that logo because, as I say, I've been busy in the background. So there's Manuel's, complete with that handsome silvery white beard of his. There you go, my man. So we're glad to have you as part of the family, and that's our first little gift to you. So thank you for being part of this thing.
Hey man, thank you for having me. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Had to cut my name short so I can get in here. I wouldn't miss it. I'm ready to meet everybody. So, just for this 2025 season, I mean, I'm ready to things started. Yeah. It's poised to be a season that's none like any other that the Falcons have had so far. I think we've always looked good on paper, but the energy just feels different. Even from a fan standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, player standpoint, it just feels different. So I think everybody's geared and ready, to actually see what Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris have built for this. I think this is the third season that they so-called rebuild. So
this is the second season with Raheem and Terry being together.
We are ready. I think everybody's ready. I think the NFL is even ready because we got some primetime games coming up. Got a game overseas that's coming up. So everybody's looking to see what we actually have. What we have. We look good on paper. We've always looked good on paper, but we're ready to put together a season where people can start saying, "Hey, man, here come those Falcons."
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it all. I mean, I feel like I've said to Des many times that we picked the right season to be year one for the AFNI because the response from the States, you guys want to come on and join us for the shows, has just been so amazing, from the support that we've been getting from the rest of the AFN crews as well, from Mad Mike and the boys. Just the love all around Atlanta for the international crew has been really great. So we can't thank you enough. So as I say, as Floyd says, join us as we rise up Scottish style. So yeah. As I say, the guys are joining the Kilted Revolution, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you're getting your kilt. When you join the team, you're getting your kilt.
Yeah, absolutely. And put that one up as well, yeah. Be sure to follow his page, so Atlanta Falcons Fandemic.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got on and liked that today because Manuel's always got a lot of great guests and great takes. I know that you recently rescheduled a show, but you've got a big show coming up. So tell us about that, Manuel.
Well, I got a show. We trying to get our schedules. Me and myself and Berto of 95 North Talk Show and Bleacher Report. Our schedules are really conflicting, and I want to do him first because he's one of the first shows that I've ever been a part of, been a guest on. He's really the one I'm really kind of got me started pretty much, along with a lot of other content creators that have had me on. I've been on part of a lot of platforms where people, allow me to voice my opinion or, voice what I had on my mind. But Berto was kind of like the first one. So I wanted to start out with him first. It's been a blast with everybody, but Berto, he and I just kind of hit it off the first time that I was on his show, and a lot of insightful stuff. I'm an old school guy, so 1978 I became a fan. So it's I've been a fan a long time. I think he hasn't been there as long as I have, but at the same time, I still learn from the younger guys too, looking at it from their point of view. Because like I said, I'm an old school guy. I kind of look at things the old school way. So it's like people's like, man, what are you talking about? So, but yeah, man, I'm here now, and I'm ready. Hello, Miss Pam. So,
you're now and you're ready to stay.
So, exactly. So it's a transition for me. I got to get accustomed to what the younger guys are saying. I know the game has changed a lot. With the way the game has changed, I'm hoping that the Falcons can find a way to change my. I've been kind of ready for a long time. I'm ready for a Super Bowl, man.
Hell yeah, I'm with you there. And when you're talking about that kind of thing, like I agree with you so much. It's kind of good to get the takes from Falcons fans of all ages and all walks of life. Because I mean, you've got Cam in his 20s, I'm in my 30s, Des is up into his 50s, so we're covering all bases. Yeah, for the amateur.
Thanks.
Don't worry, brother. You don't look a day over 49.
Thanks very much. Appreciate that, mate. I know who's going to get killed tonight.
Oh, do you know what? I'll probably die in my sleep for not having enough of it. So if you don't get me, the lack of sleep will.
Earlier on, Manuel, when you had sound issues, we said that maybe because of the profanity last night on the watch party, you've obviously we blew the headphones off because.
Well, it was nothing new to me. I probably have laid out a few of myself because I mean, like I was telling him last night, like when we lost every Super Bowl that we've lost. I mean, I've done something to my office that was like I have to go in my pocket and replace it. I've been through like maybe 2 or 3 TVs. This is my second Falcons chair where I launched it off the back deck. So it's I mean. It is what it is as a fan for me, man. I mean, it's I do all of this stuff, man. You ought to see my man cave, man. My wife is mad. I took over a room that she wanted to use, so it's all Falcons around here. When we got together, she was a Dallas Cowboys fan. Her whole family's Dallas Cowboys.
My apologies.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I told her in this house, no, it's not happening. Not a Cowboys. No, not a. So she's a Falcon fan now. My sons are. So it's been different. So but her family is looking at her like, are you crazy? But she had to come in because I'm the man of the house. I stand foot down. I got to do it.
And that's the thing as well. Like as you say, it's great to hear you guys' stories as well, and kind of finding out from where we all came as it pertains to our history as Falcons fans. So this is why, as I say, I've been lobbying for this show in particular for so long, is to get the chance for, like as I say, you'll hear me and Des talk so much on these shows that you will get sick of us at times. Yeah. So we like to open it up to the family. So I've been lobbying behind the scenes with the guys for quite a long time. So it's time for y'all to meet my team. You know Mike's team, you know Maggie's team. Now it's time for y'all to meet my guys.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of those guys that I mean, I'm trying myself. I'm trying to stop cursing. I'm former military, so and Navy at that. So I was like, man, every third word was out of my mouth. Well, I was laying it out. So I'm trying to like curb it. Ever since my first son was born, I didn't want him to hear me, talking like that. But trust me, when they weren't around, man, I was, like I said, I was lunching them out, But I'm a former football player, former boxer, so it's like wow, that my language was like different. So that's why a lot of times you hear me going because I'm trying not to curse. That's my thing, but.
I guess this would be the one where if you do let a couple of bombs fly, then you're not in the panel that's going to judge you for it. Put it that way. We're all guilty of it.
Yeah, come.
Listen, I promise from now on. I promise not to swear, or from my point of view, I want to be in a position where I don't need to swear. And the Atlanta Falcons are doing so well. Yeah, I want butterflies and flowers, and I want to talk nice things. I don't want to be on screaming and effing and jeffing, as we would say.
Oh yeah.
About how bad the teams played last night. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, that's a good segue there, Des. So if you want to talk nice about some people and you don't want to be effing and blinding, then. On a positive note, we did have some standouts from the squad last night. Yeah. So again, I'm going to pull them up in the form of some photos. But for me, those guys were Nate Carter. Again, he ran with purpose. He ran with power, with tenacity. I love to see it. Also a special mention to Sean Corbin, coming out of the UFL from the San Antonio Brahmas. More of a return guy, but he was running the ball plenty well himself. And then, as you say, most of the caveats in terms of positives come from the receivers and backs. So again, shout out to Chris Blair, and another good game there from Nick Nash as well. Who we wanted to see more from. We were talking in the last show, and that was someone who wanted to see step up. So what we'll do is we'll go around the table. So we'll start with you, Des, and then we'll go around. Who were your guys that kind of stood out for you that really made you go, okay, maybe you will make the 53?
I mean, so you mentioned Nate Carter. So I've got three names. I've got Nick Nash, Chris Blair, and Nate Carter. I mean, I would love to see what Nathan Carter does with the first team O-line, because the speed and the power and the movement he's got, he's so shifty. I've said before in another show, he's so much different to Bijan and Tyler. He goes. It's like a start. It's literally he's at a standing start, and then all of a sudden he's past players. Bijan does it with movement. He just does it with speed. And I would love to see what he would do with an actual decent O-line in front of him, because as we all seen, I mean, he's got a woeful O-line in the backups, and he's trying his best. Put him in with the full string, then I think he's going to be phenomenal. And to be honest, there's no doubt this coaching staff is looking at the fact that Tyler Algier is going to be away at the end of the year, and they're looking at Nate Carter and thinking we could just pop him in, and he's ready to go. You know what I mean?
I would agree with that. And before we continue on to you, Manuel, I need to address this down in the chat. So I'm guessing Louis back. He likes to come in and play some of his games, and I would warn you, Kiddo, that we are not playing tonight. We've got bigger fish to fry than the Patriots, so you just stay in your own lane. Stay in the AFC East, stay quiet, and we'll have no problems. So anyway, Manuel, who were your standouts?
I just wanted to ask, how did the Giants go? How did the Giants game go for the
exactly. I stopped watching that game. How many points did it end up scoring? Like 40. It was 40 something. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, 40. 10.
Season game. Wow. And I'm surprised. I'm surprised he showed his head. But anyway, last night, Chris Blair.
They would say we're brave to come on, but I mean, 42-10 in New York. That's something different, man.
Yeah. But Chris Blair had a phenomenal game. I mean, he just picked up where he left off last season. He showed flashes, since he's been here. But we saw the true Chris Blair. He solidified his spot last night. Like you said, Nathan Carter. He's another one for a big guy, man. He is very, very shifty. In between the tackles. He surprised me. But I think of all the camp battles that's going on, this running back group is probably going to be the easiest job for Raheem Morris, picking his top running backs. But the wide receiver room is wide open. 7, 8, 9 guys that could possibly make this team. I mean, every receiver has a chance to make this team, and we've never been built like this. So this Raheem Morris is going to have a couple of gray hairs. He's going to join me in the gray beard group. I mean, he's going to have his time picking this squad out, his 53.
Just thinking about the receivers, as you say, when it's that deep, and as I say, we've been deep for so long. Like from the very start of the offseason, we were like, we're stacked. I can feel the grays starting to come just thinking about it. So never mind Raheem. So I don't envy some of the choices that are coming. And how about you, Cam? Who are your standouts for last night? I know you shouted out a couple of names as well.
Oh, yeah. Nick Nash, for sure. He got more targets, so he actually got to look like the guy that you kind of were expecting to get out of a player like of his caliber is. Like, is a bit lackluster in the past 2 games, but he wasn't really getting those targets. Blair and Drummond They've been usually getting more of them, but yeah, this game really did see. I don't know. Nick Nash went out there and he performed.
Yeah, and one special shout out to Nick Nash was playing receiver myself. I know kind of more what I'm looking for, and his awareness is really, really good. There was one pattern where he made a catch. It was supposed to be a deep in. He's seen that he would have had double coverage, and he turned it into a comeback to make the catch. So, I mean, his awareness is definitely there. I just think it's going to be just more reps and things like that. But I think when you're talking about wide receiver 6, well, wide receiver 7, certainly, maybe wide receiver 6, he's right in that mix.
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna put a little bug in everybody's ear because when we were doing the watch party, we got a lot of comments about people that we wanted to see on the field that weren't dressed out or weren't seeing playing time. And just to let everybody know, that injury list that we have is more. There are more people on there than we think. I mean, outside of Troy Anderson, we were looking for people, like Clark Phillips to show his face. We knew I think he's going to be on the team, but he's hurt. Jamal Agnew is hurt. Emory Jones, we knew about Emory Jones. Darnell Mooney, we knew about him. Malik Vernon, but there were other guys on the list that we wanted to see last night. They are actually on this list. I mean, this injury thing is ran rampant in the NFL, and Atlanta Falcons are no exception. So when you get a minute, I didn't pull up the list, but I encourage everybody to take a minute and look at that injury list. But a lot of these guys probably won't make it back. They probably get waived. But I don't know what to say about Troy Anderson or why they kept keeping him on. Because I mean, he's a viable guy. I love what he does, but I'm trying to figure out why he's lingering on this team for so long. He's not available when we need him.
Especially when we're gonna need to pick up someone that gets cut from like an offensive line from a team or something, because the Falcons are gonna be looking for anybody.
Yeah, and as I said in the last show, like when you talk about Troy Anderson, what you also have to bear in mind is that even if we activate him for week 1, he won't be eligible to play until week 5 because when you come off a pup, you need to observe 4 weeks. So again, I would be thinking about maybe saving money here. But while we're on the subject of money, I mean, this is another great one that I can pass around the table, because does money still need to be spent, do you think? And if so, where and for whom? Now, I've got another few photos saved up. Again, it's mainly to do with the offensive line, because I feel like that's where the bulk of our struggles were. So a couple of the guys me and Des were talking about on the last show, particularly Wanya Morris. So, as I say, with the scheme fit, the dancing and all of that stuff, and surprise, surprise, big man also has some hands. So you can do that too if you want to get a little bit spicy with it. Or as I say, you've also got Jedrick Wills coming out of Cleveland. He's been cut. And also a special shout out, if you haven't had a look at this guy, we were playing against him a lot of last night. Big 71 for Dallas, Lyle Collins. So there's a lot of different options that we could get for not a lot of money. Especially when you think that, as I said to Des earlier on tonight, 31 teams cutting 2 tackles each. That's going to be 62 tackles flooding the free agent market. So, be aware that the Falcons may not be done in terms of bolstering up that O-line and providing some depth.
There are guys here that's already here that are already familiar with the Falcons scheme too. Tyrone Wheatley, who's he's one of these guys that's on the injured list. So, like I said, we got 2 tackles that are on the injury list. So it's I don't know why they haven't been mentioned as far as possible replacements until Bergeron. McGarry comes back, but it's like I said, we got guys here, and I don't know. A lot of people have went in sideways on Jack Nelson. I thought he played pretty doggone good. I mean, he got pushed back a little bit, but for a rookie, I think he played pretty good. I wanted him to see him play on the right side though. As opposed to the left. That was a twist. We saw Parker over there on the other side. So Parker, I mean, I thought Jack Nelson played a pretty good game for a rookie. You know, somebody coming into a brand new scheme. You know, he came from a totally different offense too. So him coming in.
I feel like for Jack Nelson, his problem is the speed. I would say discipline, but it's the speed adjustment to the pro game. I feel like I would put him above Brandon Parker, but at this time, I would still be looking to see what Elijah Wilkinson's got. Or, as I say, I know we were talking about moving Matthew Bergeron out to tackle, but here's the thing. We are facing a really dominant, really hard-hitting interior D-line in week 1. So that would not be the week I'd want to move a strong piece out of the interior when you're playing against Vita Vea. So, yeah.
One thing you got to keep in mind, too, that this offensive line already has chemistry. It's already there. So if you move Bergeron over to the other side, then now you have opening up a problem right there with Bergeron, who has not played there all year or last year. Yes, he can play that position, but at the same time, he has not developed chemistry on that side, you know, as opposed like he did on the other side. But you would rather that guy, this line stay together as much as possible and not get interrupted. And but you have that one problem with Caleb McGarry. And you have a smart guy like Chris Lindstrom. I imagine whoever we put in that tackle spot, Chris Lindstrom will be that voice on that line, to keep that chemistry there, and help out where needed, giving him pointers, or because Chris Lindstrom plays tackle too. So it's not like, he won't have any help on that side. So it's I would rather keep the line together as much as possible, as opposed to bringing somebody in and swapping bodies around, with the team like this, man, you don't want to say, "Oh man, we should have done this, we should have done that." I don't like it. I'd rather leave him like it is. I would rather bring in Tyrone Wheatley and Wilkinson, people who've already been affiliated with the Falcons, know the Falcons scheme, that could come in and possibly help out and stay healthy at least long enough for McGarry to come back. I think McGarry is standing to be out 4 to 6 weeks with his injury, so. I think we can sustain to the end. If we can't sustain to the end, we need to go shopping out there and find somebody.
Yeah, I agree, and this is why we love doing the bigger groups, because as Maggie says, it's a great conversation starter. I mean, just passing it around, getting everyone's thoughts, and as you say, Manuel, I would definitely think lean more towards keeping at least the interior together for that O-line. There's tackles we could get, but as you say, with guys like Wilkinson and that, they know the scheme, they've been here a minute. So, showing that trust would be... I wouldn't be against bringing someone in as depth, just in case these guys aren't getting it. So maybe a Lyle Collins could compete to maybe get that starting job. But I just want to make sure that we have as much protection as possible for MPJ and for the backs. And that's kind of... Whatever puts us in the best position to do that, that's kind of how I'm feeling about it. But it's tricky to say because, as I say... We don't yet know what Caleb's prognosis is going to be. We don't know if he goes for surgery. If he does, we don't know if it's going to be the full season. There's a lot of different things we need to discuss. So I wouldn't be against signing another lineman. But, if we can get results from what we've got, then that would be the ideal situation. But before we start looking forward into the regular season and start talking about some of those things... we've kind of touched on it a little bit, boys, but just your thoughts on pre-season as a whole. Now, I'll start by just saying I'm glad that it's over. I want to see some real football with a team full of starters. I want to see what Penix Jr.'s got to offer in a full 17-game stretch. So that's what I'm here for. So we'll do the circle backwards this time. So Cam, how are you feeling about pre-season now that we're closing the doors on it and looking forward?
I'm ready to see the starters play. I'm ready to see Bijan play, Penix throw that ball. See Pierce, hopefully Jalen out there week 1 against the Bucks too. But I hope so. Like it is funny because like not a lot of people have been talking about the Falcons like in media just because it's been like preseason not playing starters and all that stuff, but I'm ready for people to start talking about the Falcons just other than Falcons fans too. Like
Yeah, and I'm kind of tired of being the meme of the league. So if you're going to talk about is put some damn respect on my Falcons name. That's that. Let's try and make that a thing. And Manuel, how are you feeling? Preseason over, as you say. It's good good to get to the real snaps at last, eh?
Yeah, my mindset about the preseason is totally different now. When they started sitting starters, as opposed to not playing them and doing the preseason, my whole thought on the preseason process has changed. I turn off the scoreboard now. I don't, It was a time where I wanted preseason to count and like a regular season game in my book. I wanted to see us not only get a chance to view our rookies or whatever, but I want to also win the game too. But the game is different now. They don't play the starters. Coaches don't go all in. I don't even think Albrecht. I don't think he was coaching last night. I think somebody else was, calling the plays. But so I don't think nobody goes all in until the regular season. So the regular season, it is what it is. They'll look at the rookies, look at the undrafted free agents to see what they have. See what kind of what can be added to the team to improve the team. But like now, I just turn the scoreboard off. I don't even bother with the scoreboard anymore. We score.
Yeah, and I was hoping you would say that because that was one of the great points I feel you made during the watch party. Yeah, we need to learn to kind of turn the scoreboard off. But as Auntie Pam says, we've got a good offense and we're going to keep growing. And I'm going to feed the troll again as well because we see here that someone's saying something about 0-3. But all I'm going to say to you is at least we're not 0-2 against Eli Manning in Super Bowls.
Get him.
At least we know how to handle Eli Manning.
Right.
So take it up with Eli and leave us alone.
Right. They need to be concerned about their season. I don't think.
Well, at least he's honest. He's came out and said, "But we can talk." So at least we'll give them we'll give you a cookie. At least you're honest.
Let me go ahead and put it on the board for them. Yeah, we lost to y'all in the Super Bowl. Yeah, we allowed y'all to come back. So yeah, go ahead and get that on out your blood. So I mean, out of your mouth. So we know it's coming. You got that, but you got to come back. You got to come back.
10 years gone, man. I feel like it's been done, and as much as it's an eternal meme, there's a few eternal memes we could throw right back at New England. I mean, could you beat us if the ball was weighing the same as a normal regulation football? Or do you want to take some air out first? I mean, we could really go into some things if you want to. Like, so.
I mean,
it wasn't the Patriots. It's Tom Brady. It's not the Patriots. It was Tom Brady. They haven't done anything. And that's why. I hate to bring this up, but Belichick. Everybody's saying Belichick this and Belichick that, guys. Belichick was not Belichick until Tom Brady got there. So Brady was the coach's quarterback, and he didn't do anything until he won a division game. I mean, who cares? But he was not Belichick until Tom Brady got there. Everybody have their moments, and he got lucky. He really did. He picked one heck of a quarterback. Yeah, so it's New England Brady is what it is. It's not New England Patriots.
That's it. And as we've said many times, I mean, you're a brave boy coming in this chat because if there's a Falcons panel you don't want to pick a fight with, it's probably this one. So, and that's the third time you've come in and you're up for round 3, so we've got to give it to him. He's resilient.
I'm going to actually sit down and create 10 Atlanta Falcons commandments. And one of them will be, you do not call that man by his name. He's the GOAT man.
The GOAT man, of course.
GOAT man. And the Aints and the Patriots are the biggest cheaters in NFL history. They cheated a lot of the games. So from my point of view, that's what I've got to say on that. I mean, I don't want to. If there's anybody watching this, I don't want to watch a podcast talking about Atlanta Falcons. We're talking about the game that we should not mention. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're going to get to a point where we just mute the guy and we just.
Well, then by your leave, then let's make this the last time It's been this will be 10 years to the day when we reach the Super Bowl, and it will be when we reach the Super Bowl this year. So it's about time we exercise these demons, I would say. So the power of him compels you. The power of him compels you.
I don't want him to leave this group. So I want him to stay for the whole season. So don't get halfway through the season and decide this is not the place you want to be. So I want you to see coming at you. So come and get it here.
I want to get to a point where they're talking about the history. If you look at the actual history of the Atlanta Falcons, it's not great, guys. It's not very good.
No.
We need to forget last year, forget 2 years ago, forget 9 years ago. I'm not interested in that. All I'm interested in is this season. As you said, preseason. What have we learned in preseason? Very little. Very little. What I would say is that probably the biggest positive, and I'm sure a few will agree this. This must be one of the first times that we've actually not played players down to the fact that there's a possibility they might go into the practice squad and we don't want other teams to snap them up.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that was a big point you were making, because we're doing our due diligence, so the other teams are too. So if we're looking at every other team's practice squad, there's some people in particular who have got a real close eye on ours, particularly teams that are looking for a receiver.
Yeah. As I was saying earlier, you look at Dallas Cowboys, 64-yard kick from their kicker, right? Yeah. Now, Raheem Morris came out in the Tennessee game and said that he wanted to win the game, hence the reason why he didn't kick it, right? This staff doesn't want to win at all in preseason. They don't care. And we were talking about it last night in the walk party. The reason why he didn't want Krieg to kick that ball was the fact that he didn't want other teams to watch and see a guy that's possibly going to go into our practice squad, or not on the practice squad. He has to effectively go through waivers like everybody else, even though he's an international player. He didn't want to show everybody what Krieg could possibly do. And there's a guarantee that if he kicked that 64-yard field goal, there's not a chance he was making waivers. He was clearing waivers. And at that point, we're losing a player. We seen last night, we need to bring this up, guys. Koo shanked it again, a 45-yard field goal, and he shanked it. Yeah. So this coaching staff's looking at that and saying, we need a really, really, really good, powerful backup that we can bring in if this goes as bad as we think it could go based on last season.
I think that was really too from Terry Fontenot to bring in a kicker from the international that was able to play, because if we retain him, which I'm pretty sure we will, we're going to retain him. Craig will not count against the 53-man roster, so we can keep him just like Troy Anderson. We can keep him, and neither one of those guys will count toward the 53-man roster. So we're going to go into this thing with two guys that can kick hella field goals. It's call on either one of them, and pretty much either one of them going to be. Hopefully, this thing here is not cool. Young is. Hopefully, this is not him. We hope that he's back. We hope he's 100%. And not. But just in case he's not, we still have Lenny Craig, and we could actually have 55 guys on this team that's not counting toward the roster. And
when you talk about Krieg as well, he does have to clear waivers, but that goes back to what Des is saying. Maybe you don't want to kick a 65-yarder when you've got other teams watching. So there is that as well. Because I'd like Krieg back for depth. And as I say, on many occasions, this is the beauty of the international shows. We've got Scots, we've got Americans, we have Irish, we have Falcons fans from all over the world, and it truly, as I say, we truly have become the voice of all the fans, and that's why I was not at all worried to put that little tagline on your new logo, Manuel, because that's what we're trying to do. This is the voice of all Falcons fans.
Right, exactly. One thing people got to remember too: that contract that Craig signed, that is not a contract that you give somebody that you anticipate putting on the practice squad. You know, he signed a multi-year deal. You know, this is, and like I said, it's not a contract that you give to somebody that you intend on putting on a practice squad. And like you say, you don't want to showcase him. Everybody already knows what he can do. He can kick, but I think in practice, the guy was kicking 70-yard field goals. So
yeah,
and I think it's going to become a trend now, because I think I forgot who was it that was playing against Pittsburgh. That guy kicked a 70-yard field goal. They said that thing.
Cam Little, the kicker for Jacksonville.
Yeah. He kicked a 70-yarder. So I think this thing is going to become a trend where we start seeing the influx of kickers that's kicking 70-yard field goals. So it's going to be a little different. It's going to be have our hopefully Leonard Craig can come in and do the Morton Anderson thing. And
that would be amazing.
But Manuel, I want to ask: do we really want to be in a position where we have to rely constantly on the kicker?
Right.
We don't want to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look at.
Sorry. I was saying, I wonder if that's why Q was so good a few years ago, because he had to have the pressure on him, and like he had to be consistent to win those games for us.
Maybe so. But yeah, the kicker situation, I feel like that 45-yarder was an important one. It told me a lot. So I'm not prepared to give Lenny Krieg any chance to clear waivers. If there's a way I can get him back sooner and not have him have to clear waivers, then I would do that. Yeah. But I really am concerned that Kuz went from what was historically speaking one of the most consistent kickers in league history to now the last 2 years. Your long's meant to be 58. We're questioning you from 48. It's not really a great situation to be in.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the spirit of looking forward, then, as I say, guys, we've seen that today it was announced another one of the senior beat writers, Will McFadden, another Will, because they seem to just come out all over the place when you're talking about the Falcons. But yeah, a little bit more willpower for you today, because Will McFadden has released his 53-man roster.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a little bit of a look at that. So I've got this in front of me here. So 2 seconds. We'll get a look at it. So I do notice that there is a couple of areas where it differs from Tories that we looked at on the last show. This one has Carlos Washington being kept, but it's cutting both Corbin and.
I'm joined. McElhaney and Taryn Walk.
Sorry about that.
No, all good. I'm just saying so that according to this, we're keeping Carlos Washington, but not keeping either Nate or Deshaun, which in my opinion would be a mistake. And he's also only keeping 6 wide receivers and cutting Sills, Blair, and Nash. So again, I feel like he's not giving us as much on offense as what I would like us to have, but he's keeping Javon Gwynn and Jack Nelson, so that's where my problems would arise. So we'll go around and have a wee talk with the guys. So Des, what do you think looking at this? I mean, I don't feel like this stacks up for me as well as Tories did. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, there was a few in Tories that we didn't agree on, but I mean, Carlos Washington, I think he's had his time. Jay Black 142 has said Carlos Washington is toast.
Yeah,
he's been here long enough to make a statement, and I don't think he's done that. And then we bring in Nate Carter, and he just shows something different. If I'm the staff, I think Carlos Washington's a good practice squad back. But I'm keeping Nathan Carter. Absolutely.
Definitely.
The wide receivers, again, effectively Darnell Mooney's. There's a possibility Darnell Mooney does not start the season.
Yeah.
And if Darnell Mooney doesn't start the season, then you're having to start with at least 7 wide receivers.
Possibly 8, depending on how Jamal Agnew progresses, because I mean he's missed time too.
Yeah.
So there there could be a position where we keep 8, possibly 9 guys and try to get 1 or 2 in the practice squad later in the year. So don't be surprised at that, because I mean, Sills is probably bottom of that list for me, but he's still a good weapon to have. He's played well in spots throughout the preseason. And another guy I would maybe add into the mix is Joshua Simon, but again, they're going with just the 3 tight ends. I can see that, but because a lot of the narrative says that Tegan Quatoriano is the better blocker of the 2, between him and Joshua Simon. So that maybe explains that pick.
Yeah, Tegan Quatoriano is definitely. I've got him on my squad. Is Will got him in the squad?
Let me think. Yeah, to tight end 3. Yeah.
I mean, again, Guy Felipe Franks, he's due last night. He made a play for that tight end 3, but again, we've been there with Felipe Franks. Tegan Quatoriano or Quatoriano. It's hard for me because of the Scottish accent. Well, you understand. He's played really well in preseason, and I don't think that should be took away by just one touchdown for Felipe Franks when he's not really showed much at all.
No, I agree.
What I would say is that probably the first time in a long time, and I mean a long time, that we're looking at this team and everybody has got different ideas on who's going to make the roster, which shows you how in depth there is at some of these positions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And as I say, when you're talking about keeping like Nathan Carter, there's a great point by Kelvin there. He brings a little bit of Tyler and a little bit of Bijan with a sprinkle and a Le'Veon Bell. I see it. I see that. That's quite a good way to sum him up. He's got that speed that maybe not even Bijan has, because Bijan's excels in cutting and in movement. Yeah. But I mean that would be a perfect running back room for me. You've got power in Tyler, you've got cuts and movement and elusiveness with Bijan, and you've got pure speed from Nathan Carter. So I mean that kind of covers all bases for me. And then we'll have a look at this defense then. So when you're talking about defense, 7 defensive linemen in the interior, with the tough cut being Laquale London.
I could see that happening.
Yep, again, I'd agree with that. 6 edges, Floyd Ebiketie, Pierce Walker, Trice and Malone. I feel like Trice will stay, but he's not shown me quite enough. I'm not fully convinced yet.
I think they will give Trice the benefit of the doubt, this coaching staff. I think they like what they like the potential in him. So I think they're going to probably keep him. What other positions were you saying? Sorry.
For linebacker, he's an interesting one. I find out now why he's not taking the 7th receiver, because he's running Caden Ellis, Divine Diablo, JD Bertrand, and somebody who I've got a photo of because I was going to shout him out, Joshua Woods. Yeah, we remember that. That was a nice hit. So Will's keeping Josh Woods in the mix. And then we move on to corner. We've got the 6 names you'd expect to see. So Terrell, Hughes, Brooks, Alford, Bowman Jr., Mike Ford, with the tough cut being Clark Phillips.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
it ain't so.
I know. No Manuel will disagree, but I don't see a place for Clark Phillips. I mean, I've said before, guys, we need to be in a position where we know ourselves, looking back on a couple of years in these teams, that there was players that were making the 53-man roster that should have been on practice squads. You know what I mean? Again, no disrespect to D. Alford, but a player shouldn't have been able to walk in from a Canadian league and get into our first team.
Yeah,
that showed you how bad our depth is, that actually happened. And fair play to D. Alford, he's done really well. But we need to be a position where the players that have played, and if we want to develop and we want to be a better team, there's players in this team that have played the last couple of seasons that are effectively the best position as a practice squad, and a good backup to call up, and that's what I see Clark Phillips as.
Mm-hmm. I think I agree with you about D. Alford. I just think that with the experience that he has, as long as he's been here, he should have looked better. He should have looked a whole lot better. Like you said, there's no reason why a rookie one game and then you turn around and have a guy from a Canadian player who never played in the NFL come back and make you look the way you look. And he just looked out of sorts anytime they went to whatever receiver he was guarding, defending. He just did not look good. He seemed like he was. You know how when we were younger, we were always the little kid that wanted to go play with the big guys, and the big guys kept shooing us off. Look, like the receiver was just like, D. Alford, get away, man. Let me get this ball. And that's how, it wasn't a look for Alford. He missed a slew of tackles. He seemed out of place sometimes. So, but I think with the fact that we have Mike Ford in here, Keith Taylor, Clark Phillips, and that's what makes everybody so expendable too, because of Mike Ford and how fast Billy Bowman has progressed. Natron Brooks is looking phenomenal. So it makes Clark Phillips, D. Alford makes them expendable now. So and the way that Coach Hope Morris has built this team is if we have a guy go down, our next man up can come in and fill in with no problem. So we don't need I hate to say it this way because it's kind of like putting a bad light on him, but we don't need a D. Alford light coming in, and giving up plays like the way he's been doing preseason. And flashes of this. And now, granted, DK Metcalf is a handful for any cornerback, but I used that game last year as when I critiqued D. Alford, and like I said, DK, that's not taking nothing from DK Metcalf, but like I said, he is a handful. But that game solidified to me that D. Alford is not the guy to be to be CB2
in the Vikings game.
And
Justin Jefferson is a handful too, also. But just like the way he even tried to cover him, he was already on his ass before you could even see where the ball was.
Yeah, and
so what we'll do is we'll let you finish it out, Cam. So with the tail end of this 53 man, we've got the obvious four names at safety, as you might expect: Jesse Bates, Xavier Watts, Jordan Tiller, and DeMarco Hellams. But a big shock when it comes to special teams, Koo, Pinion, and McCullough. That's it. Because what he's saying here is he believes that Koo's done enough to win the Falcons kicker job. There's no denying that Lenny Creek has strength, but he could clear waivers and then easily be the 17th member of the practice squad. So how do you feel about that being said, Cam? Would you try to maintain him, or would you make him a practice squad guy?
I'd maintain him. There's going to be people looking for kickers in the middle of the season, and I don't want to get into him. There's no other international player we have on our team that deserves that IPP roster position anyway. So
yeah. As I say, unless they want to give your boy a call, and I mean, that's not going to happen anytime soon. We have enough receivers this year anyway. But I guarantee you one thing: I'd take a hell of a lot less than DJ Chark did to come in.
Ben DiNucci, they already got him out. I was wanting to see him all last night, and then we got.
I was kind of disappointed. I was at halftime see DiNucci.
This Twitter correct me.
No reason at all. Giving him the opportunity to get his get back at his former team.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
So you two is who we should blame then. You guys wanted him on there that whole time, and then he finally goes in and he shits the bed. So I blame you two for wanting it. You brought this on us.
That would have been icing on the cake if he was able to come in and orchestrate a win out of this game. Oh man, that would have put a salty taste in the Cowboys' mouth.
To be honest,
man, I just wanted him the opportunity to get his get back from them.
Yeah,
he's actually not a bad quarterback. He's not.
No, he's not bad. He's not bad.
He just came in this week, so I wasn't expecting much out of him. No.
Yeah.
And as I say, the pick's not entirely his fault. Speaking as a receiver, you need to get both hands on that thing. before he was already thinking about the yards after, and he hadn't secured the catch.
For sure.
So,
but it was the beginning of the game too, and it was one of those things where I think that's his first time playing in a stadium like Dallas, AT&T Stadium. But that's a massive stadium, guys. That's that's probably one of the brightest stadiums out there. So I think once he got the jitters off, pregame jitters, he was ready because as you see as the game went along, he got his hands on the ball. I think that it was just the pregame jitters. He just working things out, but he got it out. He got it done. I like what I saw in him. He'll be on this team.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's true. And then just kind of before we get into around the NFL things and start maybe winding things down a little bit, we've talked a lot about this and sort of do we agree, do we not agree with what's been said, but again we'll go back to front this time, so we'll start with you, Cam. So is there any names that you feel we should have on the 53 that we don't? Do you feel there's any sleepers at this point in the off season where you're still going, nah, I feel he makes it?
Trying to think of somebody that we haven't talked about already, but I'm just gonna have to pick Blair or somebody, a wide receiver room. That's like just a place we're gonna really need to secure a guy at for right now on the roster.
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely fair, especially because as we say, we one possibly two receivers missing game time, then we're gonna need to kind of shore up. And how about you, Manuel? How are you feeling when it comes to kind of sleepers or guys that are maybe on the fringes of your 53? Who should we be looking out for?
I'm going to call out one guy that I saw late in the game. He played all 4 quarters yesterday, and I was wondering why. Because it's not like he was a rookie, but Morgan Fox, that middle, and we definitely, that the run stop is one of the things that comes back to hunters, right? So we're looking at guys that can fill the middle, and Morgan Fox can definitely do that. So and he played pretty decent yesterday. So, but he played all 4 quarters. So, but he's going to be the sleeper. I think that's going to make this team some kind of way. Whether that come at the expense of LaCal London or Catavia Street, it remains to be seen. I wanted to see more Simeon Barrow. Simeon Barrow, I think, is going to end up on the practice squad. Yesterday, he just looked tired. He didn't look as energetic as he did in the OTAs and in the mini camp. So, but he just looked tired. I don't know if it's one of those. It's a rookie game. It's late in the game, and so. But Morgan Fox is that guy, man. That I'm thinking is going to be that sleeper that everybody's overlooked. Now, Braylon Trice, man, I know he's been out for an injury, but it's hard to get a fix on him. I would like to say I want to see more of him, but he's going to be that odd man out for me. I don't know. I just didn't see enough of him to make form an opinion. But when you have guys like D'Angelo Malone, who's a special teams guy that plays in the same position, Braylon Trice is not necessarily special teams, and that's one of the things Raheem Morris keeps hinting on in his press conference. He wants guys that can play multiple, contribute in multiple ways. And D'Angelo Malone, he could do it on the field as on defense and as special teams. So Braylon Trice is that one guy that's going to be the odd man out. Morgan Fox in, Braylon Trice out.
Okay. And I feel like when you're saying that, a lot of the things that people haven't been maybe thinking about as much as the importance of some of these guys to special teams. So guys like Natron Brooks, Sean Corbin as returners, as you say, D'Angelo Malone, there are guys that are going to make enough of an impact in special teams to warrant their place on the 53. So all I would advise is that you do take that into consideration, fans, when you are making your own final rosters. So I do have one more for you, and while we're on, before we do that, sorry, Des.
Yeah, can I just say something, because we're obviously talking about this. So obviously the final cuts, and I say this on Twitter every year, the final cuts are going to happen, I think, on Tuesday. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, bearing in mind that this is guys' careers, so I've seen plenty of people who they hear that somebody's been cut, and then they come out saying that he was garbage, he was rubbish, he was useless, and all this kind of stuff. Remember, this is guys' careers. We're literally watching somebody's NFL career go down the pan. You know what I mean? So what I would ask anybody watching this and anybody on Twitter, when these cuts are announced, show a bit of respect for the guys. They've come into the training camp, they've worked hard, and they've done their best. They're still up there, top 1%. You know what I mean? So, but I've seen it before on other seasons where they effectively, as soon as a cut's made, they came in and it's all about how bad he was, and he'll not make anything, this and that. So all I ask is just show a bit of respect for these guys, because at some point that there's a potential that we could be seeing the end of these guys' careers in the NFL. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, that was a great point, Des. And as I say, I'm glad you had the chance to make it there, because that's why you'll never see me laughing when someone's in for a few days and is cut, like we've had with Chark recently. Like all you will hear me say is thank you for the time. We gave you the opportunity, but you came down here, and for whatever capacity you were able to, you tried your best to ball out. So at the end of the day, we need to be appreciative of that effort from them. So well said, Des.
Yeah, it's just it's part of the game, and it's one of those things that you actually look forward. Not even I say look forward to. You hate to see guys because you want to see everybody make the team, but you can't do it. 53. But when you look at a guy get cut, you have to wonder why a coach cut that guy. Sometimes some guys, it's no wonder. But there are some be like, hey, why do we cut, so and so? What would be the reason? But it's just something like the way a defense is built. Like we got Jeff Albrecht now. I'm not gonna say a totally different defense, but if Jeff Albrecht's defense is for viciousness, high flying hits, and if that guy is not, condensed to what the vision of Jeff Albrecht, I mean, he's that expendable guy. He's going to get cut. But and that's what I'm looking forward to, this defense. Who's going to form out this defense? Because I know Jeff Albrecht is a guy that he's from the old school. He likes viciousness. When it comes to that defense. So it's going to be nice to see who he keeps around and who he gets let go, who he puts on the practice squad.
Yeah, I feel like who Jeff Albrecht picks for his defense is going to have a big hand in how successful we are this season. I think to a certain extent, in some cases, even more so than the offense. We know the offense is going to make plays, and we know they're going to score points. My big concern now is who's going to make the defensive roster. And did you want to jump in again on that, Des?
Yeah, I mean, imagine how good it would be that all these players that get cut from the 53, that get cut out of the 53-man roster and don't make the practice squad. Why wouldn't it be great to have an NFL Europe draft where we're sitting and we're drafting, and we've got teams in Europe drafting these players over to play in Europe in front of maybe it might be 10, 15, 20,000, 25,000 people. I mean, London and Berlin and all that will probably be more. But again, I'll keep on saying these guys are the top 1%, and there's some of these guys who deserve a chance to actually extend their career are going to effectively be cut, and their NFL career is over forever. And then they've got the CFL to go to, they've got the XFL or the USFL, whatever it's called, to go to. But how great would it be if these guys get cut and then we have an NFL Europe draft?
I would love it.
And then all these players that we've watched in the Atlanta Falcons team in the preseason, we get a chance to see them in Europe as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, getting some real game time and maybe working their way back towards another shot in the NFL. Who knows? In the same way you see with the CFL, the UFL.
But at least while they're developing, developing with NFL caliber coaches who are over here. It's all about development. The coaches are development, so it's younger coaches that effectively are looking to make their way up to a mainstay in the NFL team, and the players as well. You know what I mean? It just makes I will scream this for the rooftops. and into a horse that we need to bring back NFL Europe.
I feel like, as you say, we've talked about this a few times on the show, Des, and I feel like now we have even more of the infrastructure that would be required to do that than we ever have before. And I mean, speaking to you guys in the bottom row as well, I mean, how would you feel as Americans if there was another opportunity that some of these players who have failed in the NFL, there's another way to buy another chance? You can maybe go to Europe, to have another pipeline in there. It's going to be great for like the up and comers coming out of college, and they go, maybe I'm not good enough to go straight to the NFL. I can maybe go to Europe for a year or two and things of that nature if they feel like they're not quite hitting the top 1%. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about that from the American standpoint? Do you think that would be a good idea?
I think it's an excellent idea. Not only does it give college players an opportunity, the one that doesn't make it in the NFL an opportunity, but you look at guys who are potentially playing, let's just say, rugby football, who has that interest of playing in the NFL. Now, most of those guys who play rugby, they don't want to play the NFL. They want to stay rugby. I think they think the NFL has gotten too passive. So, but those guys love the viciousness of the sport. So, but back to the college players, if they don't make it into the XFL, they don't find a spot in the UFL. You know, they can always go play Europe football, which a lot of players, you know, go play when they don't make it professionally over here in the United States. They go play professionally. So that's an excellent opportunity. Plus, marketing is there. I don't know if you guys have paid attention, but I know you guys have. But let's say when the NFL teams travel to Europe, the influx of the fans, you see the jerseys come out. Like I know when the Falcons go over, when we go play over across seas, there are players that travel to Europe from the United States. So it's an excellent opportunity to market. As far as the player standpoint, it's not the end for you. You get cut in the NFL. You don't find an opportunity in the USFL or the XFL, but you got to stop to make over here in Europe football, which is an excellent opportunity to grow the market. So you still get an opportunity to show your name.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think it's a great sort of thing, and definitely something that we can put into fruition. Shout out again to the chats. A couple of guys just jumping on. So Wallace, and we've also got Lee 85. So, thanks for showing all the love. Thanks for coming on as always, fellas. Just getting ready. Before you
jump in again.
Yeah, sure thing.
Is if we ever have a Glasgow or a Scottish Aints, I ain't supporting them. It's as simple as that. Yeah, I don't care if they're literally in my back garden. I am not opening the curtains to watch them. If I see that fleur de lis anywhere in Scotland, there will be riots.
Well, I make no secret in that fact either. There's only one black and gold uniform you'll ever catch me in, and it's not fucking New Orleans.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there because it's not gonna be one of those things like I'm going to be able to hide. I do have an upcoming show that with Come On In Sports Network, and these guys here are Saints fans, but that show we're going to talk about the rivalry, not necessarily the competition between it, but the rivalry itself, how it got started, that type of thing. Because I'm an old school guy, he's an old school guy, so we're going to collab together and and that show is going to air the same week that the Atlanta Hawks get the chance to go play in New Orleans against the Pelicans, and we're going to be playing the Saints that same week. So we're going to air that same week, and all it is just we're going to talk about the competition and the rivalry up until date. So it's no me saying there's an opportunity for me to like the Saints, but there's only one other team that I hate worse than the Saints, and that's those Cowboys. The Cowboys, and it's for a viable reason. But no, it's not a way to collab with the Saints. That's not going to happen. Forget it. They still shoe. I get on there and talk trash.
100%.
My top three hates are the Goat Man. I wouldn't even put it in order. The Goat Man, Sean Haytham. I hate that man. That choke. I hate that man. So I don't even use his real name. It's Sean Haytham. and the Aints. So that's my three.
Yeah.
Boatman, Sean Haytham, and the Aints.
That's an interesting question. I'm going to put that to you as well, Cam. Now that we're talking about some of the things we hate, if you had to pick a top three of things that you hate in the NFL, what would it be?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the Saints there.
Preseason?
I don't.
Oh.
Yeah, preseason. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. Any guys I like look back on and like, I don't know.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill is that guy. I mean, my God, that guy. We could never do anything with him. I mean, he played quarterback for the Saints, tight end. He run out the backfield. I mean, whatever they ask that guy to do, he's a true athlete. My hat's off to him. Not because he's a Saints fan, a Saints player, but because he's an athlete that I like. I mean, my goodness, he was just, if he was in the lineup when he got injured, guys, I'm telling you, I hate to say it, I was glad he was hurt when we played him. But he was that guy. But it's going to be so nice to sweep them this year. It's going to be so nice to sweep them.
It's going to be real nice. And I mean, that would be my top three in terms of people that you just hate from the NFL. It would be Sean Haytham. I'm right there with you for the Bounty Gate because I'm a Brett Favre fan. So fuck you for that. Also, Spencer Rattled because I don't know what it is. I've always hated the kid, as I said to you last night. And then probably Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Because I can't. It doesn't matter what he does. I can't bring myself to even give him any kudos or any brownie points.
I don't care who it is. You got a star on the side of your head. You got hate from me. I don't care. Even if we got a chance to pick up a player from the Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to be dead set against it. I don't want them. Forget it. I'd rather lose than pick up a player from that came from Dallas. I was a 10-year-old kid, and very young in the game, and was starting to understand the game of football. And the Falcons, Dallas came here. And they stole the game from us. They literally did. They came down the last few minutes of the fourth quarter, and in typical Atlanta Falcons fashion, we let Dallas come in and take the national championship from us. I mean, the NFC championship from us. I mean, that broke my heart.
That was 1980, wasn't it?
1980. Yeah. Exactly.
That's a tough one.
I guess I'll throw in Baker Mayfield. Just because,
kid.
Nice choice.
Yeah, and back then they actually gave out actual footballs. It's in my office. I'm in my man cave. They gave out actual footballs. I still have it. And the other thing that broke my heart was I was trying to get William Andrews to sign my ball, and I actually went under the little rope thing, and I'm running behind him trying to get him to sign it, and that security guard grabbed me up, man. And I mean, not only did I lose the game, I didn't get William Andrews to sign my ball, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, not only did you lose the game, you almost lost your sneaks in the process of being snatched. So we'll start kind of getting into the last sort of few bits and pieces that we've got to go over. So this is something again like 2083. I'm going to say it one more time tonight, and then I really don't want to hear it anymore. But there's been another chapter to the Micah Parsons saga. I will have to cover it one more time. He was walking into the stadium. That's exactly it. Walking into the stadium, and an Atlanta Falcons fan says, "Come to the Falcons," and Micah responds with, "Make the call." Make the call.
Well, you guys would take him.
Nah, we can't get him. We're broke.
Not anymore. Like,
if you had a shot to get him, let's just say the Falcons had a shot to get him, and Michael wanted out of Dallas. I mean, and we have a shot to get him. Would you take him?
Oh, if we have a shot to land him, then he's certainly a nice piece to have. I feel like he's maybe lost a step because he's not training the way that he was. He's not practicing with the same intensity, but when you get him back on that field, he's a talented athlete. I feel like I would take him. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, he's so great, but it just hurts me on what we'd have to give just to get him. And Like,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I'll get my phone out and I'll start the first $20. You know what I mean? I'll start the first $20. You know what I mean?
There you go. We'll get an auction running. I don't know if we're quite going to hit the 44 million you're looking for, Micah, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, great job. Great job, there, Dominique. Dominique called it. I don't want him. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan of off-field distractions. You know, and anytime it didn't happen to all players, but when you have a player of Michael Parsons' caliber, right, you allow this much distraction. One of those things you take behind close. Look at Trey Hendrickson. That situation has not been blown up like Michael Parsons. Yes, you saw stories out there, but they're all stories that has been speculated about what's going on between Cincinnati and Trey. Nothing can be put out there on paper until Trey comes out and says, "Hey, this is what's going on." He signs off on it, but it's not to the level of Michael Parsons and Dallas. And when you have that big of a distraction, right, you don't focus on the task at hand. You know, you don't allow your agent to do his job. You know, you more involved socially, you more involved, your family is more involved. So it becomes a big distraction. So it takes away from the game, believe it or not. You know, during preseason, yeah, Michael Parsons is a phenom, you know, but at the same time, it affects every player. And if you look at the years past, when something like this happens, that player does not come back the same. I think maybe a couple of guys that, you know, that still that went through something like this, not for as long as this, but went through something like this and still were able to come back and be the same person. I just don't think he would be the same guy.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I'm sorry, Des, on you go.
Yeah, no, Manuel, he's learned from the best. I mean, you look back a couple of seasons ago in the Dak Prescott scenario as well. He was coming out in front of the press and saying that there's not been any discussion, blah, blah, blah. Not sure whether he's going to be here next year and all that kind of stuff. So if Micah Parsons wants to work out how to get the biggest contract, he's effectively he's copying what Dak Prescott done. I mean, to be honest, the Dallas Cowboys isn't a football club. It's a soap opera. That's what it is.
And that's what I'm saying. To kind of jump on the back of what both of you guys are saying, you don't really want the drama. If you're only talking about the athletic side of Micah Parsons, 100% give me that guy in red and black if the money's there. But when you're talking about the off-the-field issues, this is why guys like, what was the name of the kid that Baltimore took that fell in the draft, Mike Green? That's why he fell. Off-the-field character issues or off-the-field drama, some teams will just not want to touch you, so I can completely agree with that. And I'm going to touch on a comment here from Tony. So I say let them, because they're only going to talk like that until we stomp their ass. So that's all I'm going to say there. Let them talk.
I said the last show, when we win the Super Bowl ring, I want 283 diamonds on that Super Bowl ring. 283 diamonds. That's our 28-3, and you can shove it. You can shove it. I'm sick of it. I still can't watch that game. I see a clip here, I turn it off. I still feel pain thinking about that, how close we were. Yeah. You know what I mean? So honestly,
it was a bad night. I went to practice, and obviously playing receiver, someone gives me a phone and goes, "What do you think of this catch?" And it was the Edelman one, and I went, "If it's that catch, I don't want to see it. I don't care how good it was. I don't want to see it. I really don't."
I mean, the one thing I would say, that the one thing that stops all this is if the Atlanta Falcons become a competitive team that's in the playoffs. Get away from all this garbage that we hear. I mean, I was saying to you before the show that Michael Penix Jr. called out a fan in Dallas that had shouted Michael Penis.
Yeah.
Literally walked over to him and said, "What do you call me?" You know what I mean? So that man's a dog. He doesn't take any garbage. Walks over to the man, and the man says, "Oh, I said Michael Penix," and he was like, "It's Penix," and then walked away. You know what I mean? The man's a dog, but this disrespect that we're constantly getting, the only way we'll get that away from us is if we start winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What I would say is that I'll go back literally in the early 2010s, the Atlanta Falcons were competitive. but nobody seen 2016 happening. No, if you go back and ask anybody at the end of 2015 whether we were going to go to the Super Bowl the next year, nobody's telling you that.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally, you would put the media on, and it was dominance, the offense dominance, historic levels of point scoring, blah blah. This is the only way for us to shut up all this garbage.
You said you couldn't watch the 28-3 game anymore. I fucking love watching that Green Bay game though. That was a beautiful performance.
That was a great game.
Last game in the dome. What a game to shut the dome down with.
Oh yeah, that was a beautiful farewell. What a game, as you say, to close the doors on.
Yeah, I was even surprised by how well. Like I remember talking trash to a Packers fan the day before the game, and then I was like, "Holy shit!" They really surprised me with that. That was an insane performance.
Yeah, like for having a long and painful history, there are a few moments that do shine out, and that's definitely one of them.
Yeah. But that Green Bay game, yes, it was a great game. But the one game that stood out to me was the Commanders for two reasons. One, the road to the Super Bowl is going to go through Washington. We're going to face them. But the way Penix orchestrated that game, guys, I mean, he even got Kyle Pitts into the mix. And at that point, when I saw the way Kyle Pitts played that game, I was all back in on Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, maybe it was something between Cousins and Penix. But when I saw them two gelling together, because even Penix, Pitts was the way he was putting himself out there, like that one catch where he had to, he had to go up and get it. And he wasn't doing that for Cousins. He just let the ball fly over his head, because there were times where you saw Pitts, it's like, okay, it's up there. But he didn't do that for Penix. He actually played for Penix.
Manuel, I'm going to say something. You look at Kyle Pitts. What has Kyle Pitts got in common with Kirk Cousins? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, it's chalk and cheese.
I think there was actually something.
I always say it's not just about the player. It's about the personalities and how they gel. You know what I mean? I've worked with people that effectively you just got on well with them. You just gel with them.
Yeah.
And you know that you can work with these guys.
Right.
I mean, Kyle Pitts isn't walking into the room with Kirk Cousins and thinking, this is my man. This is a guy that I can bond with. It's worlds apart. You know what I mean?
I think it was something from day one. Because before we know there was a situation where they were saying that they were tampering with Cousins, and they said there was a conversation between Cousins and Pitts. I don't think it had nothing to do with the team, and this is just my honest opinion, guys. Kirk Cousins went to Kyle Pitts and says, "Hey, can I have my number 8 jersey?" And Pitts said no. I think that made a whole difference in the season between the chemistry between. That's just my personal opinion, because players do get real touchy about those jerseys. You get some of these players that's paying like $1 and $2 million just so they can get pick their number.
Yeah, but Kirk had the money to pay off those jerseys, those Pitts jerseys.
Yeah, because I honestly think he went to him and asked him, "Hey, can I get that number 8?" And Pitts was like, "No, I'm keeping my number 8."
Well, it's an interesting point when you say that, because I feel like, Matt, the way I've always looked at it is the player makes the jersey, not the other way about. I personally feel like you don't need a number to make a player. How are you feeling about it, Des?
But
you got a lot of players that are very superstitious about that, though.
Yeah, but
true.
What a lot of people don't understand is it's not just paying the player for the jerseys. If there's any jerseys that are still out there on sale, you have to actually buy them out. Well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So effectively, you imagine how many Kyle Pitts or how many Kyle Pitts jerseys number 8 are out there.
Especially being a starter too.
Yeah. Yeah,
that also pissed off fans too. All the fans who got 8 jerseys for Pitts.
But I got to say, Manuel, that's the first I've heard that one. So
that was just a thought.
Yeah,
Kyle, the one thing that Kirk Cousins has never had was a tight end like Kyle Pitts. So for anything, I don't think he had Kirk Cousins had anything to do with Kyle Pitts getting selected in the draft. I think it was already made up in their mind they were going to select him. You know, but I think that conversation didn't have anything to do with Kirk Cousins coming to Atlanta or Kyle Pitts being here. I think the whole thing was about that jersey, because I don't see anything else being an issue. You talk about Kirk Cousins loved good receivers. He loved receivers with good hands, and you know, and we saw that in Minnesota. We saw it in Washington. So I mean, it just seemed petty to me that those two could not gel the way Kyle Pitts and Michael Penix did during the season for those 4 games. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. I've got someone coming in with a caveat here. Was saying, nah, that was not the case. They said it would cost them too much to pay out the number 8 for Pitts. I didn't know too much about that situation. I figured he would have taken 8 when he got there. When he didn't, I just figured Kyle's not agreed to give him it. I didn't even think into the, obviously, as Des says and as Manuel says, buying out the actual jerseys.
Was Kyle Pitts not number 5 when he was at Florida?
He was the number 5. Why he got number 8, I don't know, but hey.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but I guess that's just how it falls. But
yeah,
I just wanted to share. That was just my thought.
Yeah, no, it was a really interesting talk because, as I say, me and Des hadn't heard that one before. But what we're going to do now, we've come to the sort of tail end of the show, so we're just going to drop one more reminder for you all to join the Kilted Revolution. So for more information, showtimes, you can contact Maggie, you can contact myself, you can contact any of the guys on the panel. We'll tell you what to do and where to go to get where you need to be. But as I say, we're always recruiting, so don't think because the seasons are coming that we're all done, the team's set. Not by any stretch. So with that being said, if you do want to have any more questions or you want to have your say on anything, drop it in the chat and we'll do our best to cover that for you before we wind up.
And while y'all guys are dropping those questions in, if you haven't already done so, please drop a like into that, into the chat. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share with your family and friends. Guys, this is going to be one heck of a ride this year, so we want everybody on board. Come on in with Atlanta Falcons Nation, Atlanta Falcons Nation International. God, this is going to be one heck of a season. Trust me. Like I said, I've been a fan since 1978. I have never felt this optimistic. Right now, I am overly optimistic about this season. I have never felt this way. This team has never been built this way. The coaching staff has never been built like this. This is new. This is new for Atlanta. And
a lot of former coaching staff too.
Yeah. So I mean, guys, come on in. Join the Atlanta Falcons family. Atlanta Falcons Nation family now, and the international family, guys. It's going to be a ride. So we got a lot more shows like this coming on. Maggie and her family, man, that they have put together a platform that's like no other. I mean, this family is huge. So it's not just AFNI. There more to it. So just come on in and hit that like button and join the family.
Yeah, as I said earlier on in the show when we were giving Maggie our flowers, we just bring the I, she brings the A, and the FN is all of the stuff that we do together. So, as I say, just keep enjoying, keep liking, sharing, subscribing. As I say, the new blood have been introduced to you. Some of them, we've still got a few more guys to introduce to you tonight. But we'll go around the panel just while we're waiting and get everyone's closing thoughts. That was very well said, and thank you for that, Manuel. And we're thrilled again to have you. Your turn, Cam. So if you want to close up a little bit and do your shout outs and everything.
No, thanks for watching again. Yeah, hit the like button. Comment. Just I'm just here for the conversation, really, to talk about the Atlanta Falcons. You can find me on Facebook as 10Camo1 if you want to, message me or anything. But Yeah, no, that's mainly.
Yep, and he's earned himself a recent promotion as well. He's now heading up the watch parties for the family. So, asking you shall receive. You wanted more cam, you've got more cam. And Des, take it away, my friend. Give us your shout outs and your thank yous.
Yeah, well, you can get me on X at Scottish Falcon. 2 weeks tomorrow. We're playing 6 o'clock our time, so it's standard time for us. So fantastic. So
for a change.
Yeah, pre-season is over. And as Manuel said, I'm really excited. I agree. I've been a fan since effectively 2008. And as I said, nobody seen 2016 coming. Nobody felt that before the 2016 season. And there's something in the Atlanta air. It's just something different. And we'll be here for it. So I always go back to when I was listening to I've said this before, an Atlanta Braves podcast when they won the 2021 World Series. And I flicked it on, and all you could hear was the guys effectively in tears of happiness, screaming that they're World Series champion. They're literally World Series champions, and all I can think about is that one day we'll all be sitting here on this podcast. I'll be in tears because even thinking about it gets the tears flowing. Just the thought of us winning it. I'll be in tears, and we'll be talking about how our team, the team that I love more than anything, is effectively the Super Bowl champions.
And I can guarantee you don't often see me drink on stream because demonetization and all the rest of it. But I will bring a nice half, so I will have my whiskey on hand to toast everybody when we lift that Lombardi. So you heard it here first. But as I say, if you want to get at me, you can find me at YouTube, X, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere that's anywhere you can talk Falcons, you'll find me there. At Will the Thrill Waddle, that's WAD-L. And in closing, as we always say, pain is international, but so is passion. But in addition to the closing statement, we also tonight have a little extra special graphic that I've put together. So y'all can enjoy this one while we sign out. So for now, and until Thursday, peace out. Much love, family. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.